Coming up tonight on Primetime Local News. Picketing takes place in the border city regarding Canada Post. And the new council group in Lloyd gets sworn in. Plus our weekly edition of Pet Project.
Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Hello and welcome to Primetime Local News. I'm Callan Dunlop. Thanks for joining us. Canada Post employees in Lloydminster are out on the picket lines today as the Canadian Union of Postal Workers and Canada Post continue negotiations. Our Lane Hoffert has more.
Today marks the 5th day of the nationwide Canada Post workers' strike. Even though the postal workers are currently striking, government checks will still be delivered to Lloydminster residents tomorrow.
CUPW is tomorrow delivering all government checks. They are within the installation here. We will be coming in at 10 o'clock. We'll be gathering the checks and we'll be going out and delivering the pension checks and all the rest of them.
A mediator was brought in yesterday to help with negotiations between Canada Post and the CUPW. As of yet, there is still no clear timeline for when the strike will end.
Yesterday, they appointed some federal negotiation
mediator,
to go in, but as of now, we haven't heard anything of what is really going on, so we're just striking and waiting.
To be honest, CUPW wants to get a fair and just contract done as quickly as possible so we can go back to work and we can serve the people that we do day in, day out.
With the Christmas season getting closer, pressures for both parties to reach an agreement is mounting. Postal workers in Lloyd are hoping for a fair deal to come out of the negotiations soon, so they can get back to work during one of the busiest times of the year.
We as a union, we want to negotiate a settlement. We want to be back out there. We want to be serving the public, and we want to get them their Christmas cards and their Christmas presents, and keep the economy rolling. Pretty simple. Totally. Negotiate Canada Post. Let's get a fair contract. Let us come back to work. We'll be happy to.
Postal workers say they are overworked and understaffed as well as underpaid. They hope the negotiations will bring a fair end to the issues they are currently facing. Lane Hoffert, Primetime Local News.
With Lloyd's municipal election in the rearview mirror, the new council group was officially sworn in. The council chambers were filled Monday evening, having each councillor sworn into their new role. 3 are returning, surmounting the majority of the votes amongst themselves, with Councillor David Lopez receiving the most votes in the border city.
I followed what I said I was going to do, so they've instilled their trust in me, and I appreciate it, and I don't take that for granted. I'm gonna work for the community and make sure that Lloydminster is that place where we all want to live and where we want our children to come back after they've gone to school and live here as well.
The 3 newcomers bring a different viewpoint to municipal discussions, with council optimistic of the next 4 years.
I think we have great balance between legacy people who know where the landmines are, but also some fresh ideas who just want to see things differently and give a new perspective. And I'm glad to be counted amongst those new ones.
I want to listen to as many people as I can, and anyone that has concerns, I want to be that ear to talk to. And I look forward to bringing that to council and hearing people's issues, and being everyone's person, I guess you can say up there. So
reiterate what other people have been saying, but looking at what the budget is going to look like coming forward, the stuff that I can live without, stuff that we have to make those decisions with going forward. There's a lot of things that we have to look at.
The new council group's first meeting is on November 25th. Callan Dunlop, Primetime Local News. Now let's take a look at your agriculture prices for today. Peyton Walker from Wainwright had her world turned upside down when she was diagnosed with cancer, but has undergone weeks of treatment on the road to recovery, with lots of help from her local community as well as the hockey community. With more on her journey, here is Thomas Wildman.
Today I'm joined by Peyton Walker, a young member of the hockey community here in Lloydminster, and she is here today to talk about her journey with childhood cancer. And so thank you so much for joining me today, Peyton.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Peyton, so as somebody else who also had childhood cancer, that day when you find out, it's a very difficult day, and you know, the life seems like it's going at 1,000,000 miles per hour. So just tell me about that day and kind of what it initially the doctors thought it was, and then kind of when it became cancer and when life started really moving fast there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock. Like, we went through like 2 months of trying to figure out what it was. They first thought it was just swollen lymph nodes, and then got a biopsy and found out it was cancerous. And I just, I don't know, it was like the day we found out, it's just kind of a shock. Like, didn't really know how to process it yet. Just finding out things I couldn't and could do and stuff.
And so you're now on a long road of treatment. Just how many weeks of treatment are you doing, and some of the special things that you have had to do in order to deal with this cancer and be able to fight it at the best that you can?
So in total, I'll be doing 67 weeks of treatment, so I'm like around halfway through, I guess. And then like 3 months ago, I went down to Florida for 2 months to get a specialized proton therapy, like radiation, to kill it. And then, yeah, I'll continue chemo till like July-ish, I think.
Okay, and so one of those things, being able to go down to Florida to do that treatment, is that you guys have needed a lot of money in order to, even just for hotel stays and going to the Stollery and all the gas and stuff like that. So programs like the Bobcats and the Lloydminster Minor Hockey Association here have helped you in raising some of that money. And so just how important is that money to make it so that you can be able to do these treatments and be able to get the help that you need?
Yeah, it's so important. Their support and just helping me out has been awesome.
And so you're a part of the Steelers organization, the U18 PWM Steelers, and they have been part of this journey with you since the very beginning. And just how important is it that you have that other family, that family of the Steelers, that have been able to help you out the whole way with Team Peyton as well as with the Bobcats as well?
Yeah, they're great. Like, they're always with me. It's like, to them, I'm just an injured player, just part of the team, always with them, and yeah, it's great.
And then lots of money throughout all the years has always been raised for the Stollery Children's Hospital to help kids like you who are going through tough things like this. And so talk to me a little bit about the Stollery and the top tier care that they have there, and some of the other programs that they got you in contact with that have helped make this journey just a little bit easier.
Yeah, the Stollery is great. They have like programs and all that to help kids just get through hard times. And then the nurses are great, and just the care in general is awesome.
Finally, how much, you obviously really love hockey, how much have you been able to be out on practices and be part of it, and how much you're looking forward to once these 67 weeks are up and in July, and being able hopefully to hit the ice and play for the Steelers after that?
Yeah, I practice with my team every morning and just do what I can on the ice. Like, obviously I'm limited to some things because skating is a little harder, but I practice and I work out with them. I just can't play games, so excited to get back to playing games, but still good.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Peyton, and sharing your journey, and we wish you the best recovery coming up here.
We also got to learn the perspective of a parent who is helping their child battle cancer. Our Thomas Wildman has more with Peyton's dad.
And now we're joined by Scott Walker, Peyton's dad. And Scott, I'll start with you with a similar question to Peyton. What was happening in your life when you found out that it was cancer, and just the whole experience for a parent to know that your kid is now dealing with a life-threatening disease?
Yeah, that was a day and a week that my wife Stacy and I will never forget. You know, we were We're just normal small town people who were getting ready to transition a little bit from winter hockey into, Peyton was getting into some Hockey Alberta stuff. She had just made a Hockey Alberta Challenge Cup team, so we were getting ready to sort of transition into all that, and then we get a phone call on April 18th that we'll never forget, that she had rhabdomyosarcoma, and when they say that, we say, "What's that?" And then from there, that's on a Thursday. On a Monday, she's in getting her PET scans and her CT scans and her MRI, and then on the following Thursday, we have our big meeting with the oncology team, and Friday morning at 9 a.m. she's admitted into the Stollery, and we're going. So within a week, it was an absolute whirlwind. I don't wish that upon anyone, any parent, any child. But we just did as best we could, just navigated as best we could, and here we are. Great support from everyone from the Stollery to our friends and family, right initially, and it allowed us to just, and our work families allowed us to focus on her, and away we went.
And so early on in the 67 weeks, you guys went down to Florida to have that specialized treatment. Talk to me about what the doctors were talking to you about with that, and how helpful the Stollery was in getting that all set up for you, because that's not a very traditional treatment for us up here in Canada.
For sure. I wish it was. And they are doing things like the Ben Stelter Fund and stuff that we've become really a part of. Is going to see proton radiation therapy come to Edmonton, come to Canada for the first time ever. But yeah, on June 20th, we knew that throughout this process, it was going to be 67 weeks, and in order to cure her, there was going to be lots of different dimensions, and we knew radiation was one of them. We didn't know going to Jacksonville, Florida in the middle of the summer was going to be, but when on June 20th, they told us, asked us what out-of-country treatment would look like for us, and thankfully from the support of everyone, we were able to just go, and 3 weeks later, we were all on a plane to get specialized proton radiation. And what it does is it was able to centralize exactly where the cancer was in her tumor and her lymph nodes, and really limit the side effects, long-term, short-term and long-term, for her down the road, which is obviously very important with everyone, but especially with a child when it was in the head. So when they said this is the absolute best treatment for her, it will help cure her, we said, let's go.
What's it looking like, once you get to July, and when the light at the tunnel is here, and what you guys are looking forward to when the summer comes?
So she's just going to start week 30 of 67 here. So we do our weekly trips in. Sometimes it's multiple trips in a week, just depending on what programs or what they need to do, and tests and all that kind of stuff. There's lots of little things that we learned that we didn't really see coming, but we're still learning. She's on extensive chemo right now. She'll do that till about the end of February, and then she'll go into hopefully a little bit lighter phase, as long as things keep progressing as they are. The radiation and chemo seem to be doing their job, which is great. And the biggest thing for her is we just want her to be able to get back and being a kid, being a teenager, right? Doing the things she loves, and that biggest thing is hockey. So obviously we don't want to look too far down the road, but we're really looking forward to next September. Hopefully she can be back on the ice with Dan and her teammates. But we still know she's got a long road. She's got a long road. Rhabdomyosarcoma is one of the most aggressive childhood cancers there is. So we need to follow the doctor's orders to a T and do what they say, and we have been. And we're hoping that'll get us out on the other side. But yeah, your other part of the question is, groups like obviously the Stollery itself, but it's just so much more than that. The Kids with Cancer Society, the Ronald McDonald House, who we owe a lot to in Jacksonville and in Edmonton, when we go on 5 days, the Ben Stelter Fund that I mentioned, the Alberta Cancer Foundation, all of those, they just help Just little things. If you need small things here and there, for her brother, when he comes in, he's well taken care of, and that's through all the societies. Right, that first week was not only hard on Peyton and Stacy and I, it was hard on her brother and her grandparents and stuff that were coming to see her. And so they have little things, whether it's just speaking with people or having a little lunch or having a PlayStation. Those things make a difference.
Thank you both so much for coming in and telling the story today, and we hope for all the best for both of you coming up here, and be sure to stay watching us as we will have more and more on their journey as well as on the Lloydminster Minor Hockey and all their efforts coming up very soon.
It's now time to take a look at your adorable animals in our pet picks of the day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Abby St. John is back at Border Paws Animal Shelter for our weekly edition of Pet Project.
Border Paws Animal Shelter for our weekly edition of Pet Project, and today we have the absolutely gorgeous Kyra. She is just so sweet, but she is very energetic, and she definitely barreled me down earlier. But that doesn't take away from the fact that she is an absolute sweetheart and she means no harm.
Yeah.
So tell me about her story and what her best fit would be. I already know that small little children may not be the best fit.
So Kyra, yes, a very sweet girl. She's been with us since January 5th. So she's coming up on a year. She's been here for a while. She was found on Highway 16. And thankfully brought to us so we could take care of her. She is a very sweet girl, but again, yes, very energetic. She's very, very comfortable around people, obviously. She loves the attention. Look at that face. Oh my gosh, the big brown puppy eyes. So again, yes, very energetic, doesn't really understand, like she
Her
can,
size.
Yeah, just barely.
Now I will say I did trip over something as she was jumping on me, so I think that had something to do with it. But she definitely is one who doesn't know her size that much, but she is a puppy, honestly, through and through.
Right, yeah.
And she has that energy, and that doesn't take away, like I said, from her absolute sweetness, because she doesn't mean any harm from jumping up.
She loves attention. She loves belly rubs. She loves giving kisses, and she jumps up and gives hugs.
Yeah.
She knows where the treats are in my pocket. She's looking.
Now, is she good with other animals, other dogs, other cats?
Unfortunately, not great with other dogs, so we would recommend her being in a single dog household. Feline, she doesn't seem super bothered by them, but we would recommend that any feline interactions be supervised, just because she can play a little bit rough and not realize that, especially with small kids, she knocked you over.
Yeah.
So she plays a little bit rambunctious.
Yeah.
But she's such a sweet girl.
Yes, she is. And like you said, she was very comfortable around people. As soon as we entered this room, she immediately warmed up to us. Didn't take any time or coercing at all. So it just goes to show her very loving personality, and definitely would be the queen of her own castle.
And she's so gentle taking the treats.
Yes, she is.
Sweetie pie. She's such a good girl. She would make an excellent companion for someone, especially like going for runs and stuff like that. She'd be a perfect companion for that. She's got so much energy. She'd have no problem keeping up with you.
Oh, yes. Now, going off of adoptions, you guys were at the Christmas craft fair over the past weekend.
Yes.
And like you said, or we were talking about it earlier, you had great success both financially and adoption-wise. So tell me a bit about the weekend.
So yeah, we were at the Christmas Craft Expo. We had a table set up. We had a lot of people coming through to pet the kitties that we brought with us, which was amazing. Like the Christmas Craft Fair, it's always just an amazing event for the community, and you get to see all the homemade stuff. Great chance to get Christmas presents. But we did get some animals adopted out, which is ultimately our goal. We love them, but we don't want them to stay here any longer than they have to. We're just a halfway point between where they came from and where they need to be.
Exactly.
Right? So it was really good. We raised over $200 in donations, which is fantastic, and we can't thank you guys enough, because all that stuff really does go so far to help these guys, especially with this one who loves her snacks.
Yes.
Hi, sweet baby. And then upcoming, we do, of course, have our annual Jail and Bail coming up. And for anybody who's familiar, we lock up your friends.
Yes.
We lock up your bosses.
And this is your biggest fundraiser of the year, and it has been going on for years, going all the way back to the old building, and it's lovely.
We don't talk about that.
It's great that we're now able to do a full-fledged Jail and Bail here in this new building for the last couple of years since it's opened, and this year is no different, and it is coming up very soon on December 6th, so I'm participating in it, and I'm sure a lot of other people in the community are as well. So maybe for those who don't really know what it is, give a brief description of what Jail and Bail is.
So last year, I know we did have a link that people could go and fill out a form, and you could pay to have your friends, coworkers, your boss. We would come, arrest them, and they'd get locked up with our dogs for a predetermined amount of time, or they could pay to get themselves out early. But all that money comes right back into the shelter. It helps us with medical costs, especially when there are babies. There's lots of kittens, puppies, and in the wintertime, our medical expenses do skyrocket because there's a lot of preventable things like frostbite and things like that. So we're really excited about this. Jail and Bail last year, I think we made over $40,000.
Yes.
So I'm really hoping that we can come together and just beat that goal. I'm pretty confident that this year will be amazing as well. I'm really excited about it.
And for the silent auction, I know you guys, that's also a huge component of it. Are you looking for any items? And if any business or anybody has items that they would like to give to the silent auction, how can they go about doing that?
So they can email us at info@borderpaws.ca or give us a call. Our number is on our website, but it's also 780-872-2809. If you're interested in even volunteering, maybe helping me arrest some people, because I had so much fun last year. It was a blast, and it's a great way to bring the community together.
Absolutely. In a very fun way, too.
It's so much fun. You get to be locked up with puppies and cats for, who wouldn't want that?
I'm very excited. This will be my first time participating in the new shelter. I did it in the old shelter, so it'll be nice to be in the newer one, and I'm very excited, as is the rest of the community. But in the next couple of weeks, we'll, of course, talk more about it.
Yeah.
Now, finally, same question as always, what donations are you in need of?
So we are in absolute desperate need of chicken-free kitten food, wet and dry. We also need puppy food, wet and dry, chicken-free preferably, and milk replacer for kittens and puppies, because we do have a few right now. So that would be greatly appreciated. We also need, we're also looking for slip leads. So slip leads we use for a lot of our dogs. It just gives us a bit better control when we take them for a walk. Similar to a regular leash, except instead of clipping onto the collar, it just loops right around their neck so they can't slip out, right? Yeah, she thinks she's going for it now. I feel bad. She did just go for a WALK. But we're, looking for things like that, the wet and dry cat food. And of course, the monetary donations for our sick and injured fund, because it does, this time of year gets really depleted.
Yes, absolutely, especially if all the strays that do come in, especially cats.
We had a little kitten come in that was missing part of his bottom jaw, actually. He is thriving. He's doing amazing.
It goes a long way for sure. So thank you again, as always, for joining me. And Kyra, you just showed your sweetness through and through and will make the best addition to any family. So thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, our Abby St. John will have another look at our evening weather forecast.
Taking a final look at our evening weather forecast, it's currently -8 here in Lloydminster. Quite a chilly day out today and a little bit windy. It won't be as windy tomorrow, thankfully, though. Current temperatures in Alberta, -9 in Cold Lake, -7 in Athabasca, Edson, and in Red Deer, -6 in Edmonton, Whitecourt, Rocky Mountain House in Jasper is sitting at -4. And in Saskatchewan, -8 in Meadow Lake and Melfort, -7 in Prince Albert, -6 in North Battleford and in Saskatoon. Up north in Saskatchewan, a little bit cooler, -13 in Uranium City, -12 in Stony Rapids, -11 in Wollaston Lake, -10 in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows, -8 in South End, and -5 in Flin Flon. And in Alberta, -16 in High Level, -15 in Fort Chipewyan, -13 in Fort Mac, -12 in Grand Prairie. And down south in Alberta, -6 in Coronation, -9 in Calgary, -3 in Medicine Hat and in Lethbridge. And in Saskatchewan, -7 in Swift Current and Regina, -6 in Moose Jaw and Kindersley, -5 in Estevan, and -4 in Yorkton. Overnight tonight in North Battleford, temperatures will drop to -12, breezy in the evening, but mostly cloudy. And then overnight in Cold Lake will drop down to -13, and those clouds will start to break as the evening goes on. And then overnight tonight across the region, -13 in Meadow Lake and Paradise Hill, -14 in Bonnyville and Provost, -11 out in Isla Cross. And then -15 in Myrna, -13 in Pierceland and Unity, -14 in Wainwright, and -12 in Calgary. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster will drop down to -14, and that wind will be similar to what we saw today at 20 kilometers per hour, partially cloudy skies. Over the next 7 days, a high of 8, low of -12 for tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we have a 42% chance of a morning flurry with a high of -7, low of -14. On Friday, hopefully we get a little break from the clouds and have some sun with a high of -9, low of -12. On Saturday, we start to see some more snow, about a 65% chance of some snow with a high of 8, a -8 and a low of -10. High of -8 also on Sunday with that 65% chance of some snow, low of -19. So those lows are getting quite chilly. And then on Monday, a high of -11, low of -18, and Tuesday, high of -10, low of -17. So things are definitely cooling up. We're getting more snow. We are definitely heading into the thick of things.
Yeah, I said earlier that I was getting more accommodated to it, but looking at those temperatures, I don't know if I'm ready for all of that.
Definitely not.
Especially the snow. I'm hoping that it doesn't snow because it was a low percentage, but time will tell.
See. Yeah.
And that is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.